Hey guys, it's Vanessa from Cake Style, and today I am whipping up a unicorn cake for Sydney's birthday. This is for a cool kids party, and I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate than with a unicorn cake complete with ice cream smashed horn. I think this turned out pretty cool, and if you agree, remember to give a thumbs up to this video and leave some comments below for some other ideas you'd love to see us make. So for today's cake, I have gone ahead and found a picture of a unicorn, and I have blown it up so that it is just a little bit bigger than a piece of paper. I also have a 10-inch square cake that is a milk chocolate mud cake. Now, when these are on camera, they often look like they are quite firm and hard. Anyone who's tried an Australian mud cake recipe will know that this is the most moist, dense and rich cake that you can ever try. But these cakes are chilled. I've put them in the fridge overnight just so that it's a lot easier to sculpt with. I also have a 10-inch square cake plate that I can use to carve into my shape. I've also made up some of our dark chocolate ganache, and you can find the recipe for that and the cake in the description box below. I have a bread knife as well as a steak knife, and I have a ginormous 16-inch square cake board that I have covered in a really nice shade of sky blue, and I've allowed this to set overnight. So this is the first step that you want to do. Now we're ready to start carving our cake. So to carve out my shape, I don't need to worry too much about doing all of the mane. So I kind of want to line it up over here, and I'm just going to draw around the main part. And I'm going to know just to curve the head around. I'm also going to blunt this off a little bit. Now we have the rough shape. Now I could have made this a little bit larger or baked a slightly smaller cake to have less wastage. But I'm actually looking forward to having some excess because I'm going to be making some of our ice cream cake pops to go along with this party. So starting here, I'm going to cut off the excess. And if you cut it off in nice big chunks without the ganache, you definitely can use this as tasting cakes for your clients. Now I'm going to place this down, pop some ganache on it, and place it onto the cake. Now come along and add a beautiful filling layer. If you're not making a chocolate cake, you can go ahead and use buttercream for this. Either our Swiss meringue, Italian, or sweet buttercream recipes all would work great. Pop our next layer on. So the first thing I want to do is just shave off the very corner here, all the way around, just to soften the whole thing. We also want to make sure that we cut it all the way back until we see the board. I'm just going to notch out a little bit here for the nose. Now I'm going to score a line here. Just cut away a little bit, score a little here. Now for this section, I'm going to take some of my excess, chop a lot of it off, and I can probably actually just use that. There we go. Now I'm going to score a section here, just so we get a little bit of dimension. Now we're going to take this cake and chill it again for another 15 minutes. Okay, now it's time to ganache. Just go over everything right now. Don't worry about the gaps and things like that that you've carved away, because we'll come back in a moment and take off some of the excess. Okay, so now you can see how once it's on the cold cake, it starts to set up a bit. So now we can come around and really smooth it. Carve back where the eye's going a little, and these little dug out bits. Okay, and now we're going to let this chill for about 4 to 6 hours if it's got ganache. If you're using buttercream, you can jump right ahead to the fondant. So now it's time to cover this cake in fondant. So this has been resting. I now have some sugar syrup, which I'm going to apply to the cake just so that the fondant sticks. Now it's time to knead our fondant, and don't worry, I have all the amounts and every colour that I use listed in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. Taking some corn flour or corn starch, I'm going to sprinkle it on my surface and now roll it out. Now blunt off the edge so you can roll it up, place the cake over and carefully roll it. Now I want to go around and just secure a little bit everywhere. I want to secure this bottom section first because that could tear, seeing as it's quite pointy. And now in here, I'm just going to push some excess in, using your finger to get some extra in there. Now I'm going to cut all the excess off. And I'm going to rub all the way around with some acetate, or you can use a fondant smoother, just to make sure it's all attached. Now you can see here that we've lost a little bit of fondant. That's okay. What you want to work on first is just getting all of our little indentations and things like that while it's nice and soft. A little socket for the eye. Now for her mouth, I'm just going to push the fondant out just a little bit here. Press down on the nostril and just push that out as well. Now I'm going to take a section of our white fondant. I'm going to place it in here, and then taking my smoother, just going to rub and buff the seam, and again press and blend. Now we want to apply either some ganache or royal icing to the board. Don't do it like I did at first and put it way over here. Remember, there's a main. You want the cake to be right down the bottom. Okay, now that I've cleaned up my board a little bit, I have gone ahead and I have mixed up 5 different beautiful shades of fondant that I'm going to be using on the main. I've also made up some modelling chocolate in the same colour as an ice cream cone, and I have a touch of black and dark pink for the face accents. So I'm going to work on those first. For the eyes, I want to get out some blue, some black, and some white. So starting with the white, I'm just going to roll some out, cut it into an eye shape, take some of our blue, roll it into a ball, give it a little squish, and then roll it just into an oval shape. Then take a tiny bit of black and do the same. So line up where you want the eye to go. I'm attaching this with some sugar glue, and take our blue and add that, and our black. Roll a black sausage, add a little bit of cornstarch to your fingers if it's sticking. Attach with a little bit of sugar glue, do a touch more. Now we want to make some lashes. I want to have about 4 lashes, but first I want to take a fair bit of our black, roll the sausage, and then attach those lashes. Now in the mouth section, you take some dark pink, kind of flatten it out so it looks like a tongue. Take a black sausage, and a little curved one at the top. Last little bit, just to wrap around the mouth. And then secure it all with a little bit of sugar glue. The final touch on the face is just a little fleck here for a nostril. So now I'm going to take my modelling chocolate, roll it into a ball, and then start to shape it into an ice cream cone. Just keep rolling it between the palms of your hands, and that will help to keep a fairly round shape at the bottom. So now I want to take either a boning tool or you can use a toothpick, and I want to come along and just make some lines. Now I'm going to take my pink fondant, drag it around, come along, chop off there. Now I'm going to line up these, take some sugar glue to attach. I'm going to take part of a bamboo skewer, run that through, and then slide that in. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of foam padding to hold that in place until it sets. some more of this fondant. Make it look really aged by curving it over, and we can attach that with a bit of sugar glue. Take some more. So now I'm going to work on the hair. I'm going to roll out sausages, chop them in half, and then I'm going to come along with a toothpick and make it so it looks like little hair strands. This is where it's really important to try and do lots of different colours. Just do a few of each. And I'm just going to add some sugar glue and then just start attaching them randomly to the cake. Now that we're getting closer, I'm putting some smaller ones in and just giving them a little bit of a flick in both directions. Now to make the ear, I've cut out the ear. I've placed some tape around it, and I'm just going to trace it with the pizza cutter. Pop a toothpick in and pop some foam there. Grab some of my pink, make a bit of an ear shape. And now we need to allow the ear to dry for a couple of hours, just like this. And that's it, guys. We have our unicorn cake ready for our party. I know Sydney's gonna absolutely love it. I can't wait to show this to her. If you want to see more cool cakes like this, remember to check out our playlist here. We also have another one right here with all of our latest videos for you. Remember to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and comment with all the cake ideas that you would love to see us make.